performance state is, and that you can recall a specific time when you performed in that ideal performance state, and that you have already imagined what the very last thing that has to happen in order for you to know that you've achieved your desired outcome. So in light of that, I want to invite you to close your eyes, and as you go back in time to that specific time when you performed at your very best, I want you to see what you saw, hear what you heard, and feel fully what you felt in that moment when you were in your ideal performance state. And as you're seeing what you saw and hearing what you heard, and feeling fully what you felt, acknowledge and notice what you're believing about yourself in that moment as well, what you're telling yourself. And as you're seeing what you saw and hearing what you heard and feeling fully what it feels like to be in your ideal performance state, notice also the internal sensations in your body as you're in this ideal performance state. And as you're there, I want to invite you to make those visions as vividly positive, as compelling as possible, and allow those sounds to be as audibly positive and compelling as possible. And let those feelings inside of you when you're performing at your very best, let them be as palpably positive and compelling as possible. And as you're there in that moment in time performing at your very, very best, I want to invite you now to double that feeling. Allow those feelings to expand throughout your body. Double them. Now allow yourself to rev up those feelings even more and triple them. And as you're there, delighting in those feelings of being in your ideal performance state, now that you're there, I want you, buoyed by that state, to imagine floating forward in time and drop down into your next competition. And from your own eyes, see what you'll see, hear what you'll hear, and feel fully what you'll feel when you're competing next, as if it's happening now. Allow this imaginary memory of the future to be a real-life experience now. Notice your movement, how swift you are, your tactics, your strategy. See what you'll see, hear what you'll hear, and feel fully what you'll feel when you're performing at your very, very best. And delight in having this experience now. And now that you're having this experience successfully, easily, effortlessly, I want you to experience the very last thing that has to happen in order for you to know that you've achieved your desired outcome. Perhaps your hands are raised, or you're shaking your opponent's hand. What's the very last thing that has to happen in order for you to know that you've already achieved your desired outcome? And as you're having that experience, note what you're believing about yourself and how you're feeling inside, what you're aware of. And after you have that experience, float a little forward in time again to after you've already triumphed. What happens next? Perhaps it's the look in someone's eyes of pride. It's the celebration of someone very important to you. Perhaps it's the way you feel as you're driving home Notice what happens next after you've already won. See what you'll see in that moment, and hear what you'll hear, and feel fully what you'll feel. And when you are good and satisfied and truly trust that you have absorbed this experience, that it's fully integrating in your mind and in your unconscious mind, that every cell and fiber in your being is taking all of this in, then now I want to invite you to float up, 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 and back toward the present moment. Back, 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 back down into this room, down into your body. And when you feel fully grounded and present, I want to invite you now to open your eyes. And consider, what was that like to have already had that experience?